Sangat miris, hati kami semua sangat miris dan sangat kecewa untuk para aparat, apalagi khusus untuk Kapolri ya. Tolong perhatikan ini, ojol ini manusia juga dan rakyat jelata juga. Ya kata anggota dewan tuh, ojol itu rakyat. Kita sedih nih, makanya satu sakit semuanya sakit. Gitu Pak.
Indonesia is going through a dark period. Protests against the government have escalated, leading to many injuries and deaths. The response of the authorities to ongoing large-scale demonstrations has been violent and repressive. Even those who were just working around areas of protests have become victims, like Afan Kurniawan. He was a 21-year-old Gojek driver who was killed during a shift by an armed police vehicle that ran him over. Although the death of innocent people like Kurniawan seemed to cause a shift in how the president was talking about the protests, he has still instructed forces to take strict action against citizens participating in protests.
What we are seeing is how the government seems to be more focused, more interested really to frame legitimate and peaceful criticisms as internal enemy, as internal threat.
What you should know is that the anger behind the current protests has been rising for months, if not years. The socio-economic situation in Indonesia is, for many people, terrible, and it's not getting better. Although things may look up if you just look at the GDP, this does not reflect common people's lives at all. Unemployment rates are high, the job market is collapsing, and inequality is massive. In the midst of all this, the current government is choosing to cut spending on important things like education, while also passing laws that improve politicians' own financial well-being. As a result, many people have been feeling disconnected from the nationalism that Indonesia traditionally expects from its people. This was especially visible leading up to the most recent Independence Day, August 17th. On that day, Indonesians are expected to display the national flag outside their homes. But instead, this year, many people displayed a pirate flag from the Japanese anime One Piece, which has become a symbol for discontent about the current government's policies.
The people have been asking for change, have been asking for reformation for months and even maybe years, and they've been asking it peacefully. They've been doing diplomacy and things like that, but it seems like it keeps on falling on deaf ear. And so now the people are angry. They don't know how else to ask for help, and so they took it to the street and they took it to the protest.
Corruption has been a problem in Indonesia for a much longer time than just this government. But the last government did seem to care a little bit, at least a little bit, about common people's issues. Prabowo Subianto's government instead takes a completely different approach. They frequently mock protesters, calling them lazy or idiots. This arrogance has been the last straw that sparked the current wave of protests. The people do not accept the ongoing indifference of political leaders to their struggles.
It will seem to me that the government is more interested in ensuring that they have full control of the narratives, full control of the protests, instead of addressing the real and true concerns that the people have.
The killing of Afan Kurniawan was one of many tipping points. Many people see this as the confirmation that authorities do not care one bit about the people they are supposed to serve. The struggle that Indonesians face right now seems tragically historical. Many are comparing the situation to the riots of 1998, when violence and unrest was also widespread across the country. This eventually forced Suharto, the dictator at the time, to step down. Indonesia's current president, Subianto, used to be a military general under Suharto. And now, under his leadership, the military has been taking more control over the government. For many protesters, this is exactly the problem. They fear that Indonesia is sliding back toward authoritarian rule. What I've tried with this video is to help you understand a little bit more about the protests and the situation that we are seeing in Indonesia. But on a personal note, there's a couple of more things I want to say. Earlier this year, I was in Indonesia for fieldwork as part of my studies for 10 weeks. And my time there was wonderful. So many people that I've met were full of joy, kindness and warmth. And the messages you just saw in the montage were from actual people that I've met there. I wanted to include these statements because they're personal and real. But more importantly, there are strong signs that Indonesian news outlets are being censored by the government. That makes it much more urgent to follow what's happening on other sources. I will link some people-led media outlets where you can follow the situation in the description below. Also, if you're watching as a fellow Dutchie, chances are that you've been to Indonesia before, like me. You may have enjoyed the country's hospitality, the landscapes, and the low prices. But what I hope you realize is this. We, the people born in rich countries where it's normal to make great travels overseas, contribute to the inequality that Indonesians are protesting right now. The country may be cheap for us as tourists, but that's because to the ruling elites, the lives of ordinary Indonesians are worthless. The working class is not fairly compensated, not protected, and not valued. Even though as tourists we may be spending money in Indonesia, that money usually doesn't end up in normal people's pockets. I'm not saying we shouldn't travel to Indonesia, but maybe before you call a country cheap, ask yourself, cheap for whom? Also, please stop the haggling over prices. It's disrespectful, it's messed up and even racist. You paid 1,000 euros for a flight and now you're claiming that 10 euros for a handbag is too expensive? No. Indonesians deserve justice. It is my true hope that something good comes from all the unrest and violence that we're seeing. The government should listen to its people, take them seriously, and until they do so, resistance is justified. I want to wish the Indonesians fighting for their country much hope, strength, and perseverance.